It's only been about a week since Democratic hopefuls started announcing their candidacy in 2020 and already it's looking like a train wreck. Most recently, former CEO of Starbucks Howard Schultz decided to use 60 Minutes to sell his candidacy to the American people. Unfortunately for him, it didn't go over too well with his own liberals on the left. At a press event on Monday, it was less than 30 seconds before liberal hecklers in the audience started to berate Schultz and urge him to not run. It's not a good sign when your first media stop as a potential candidate only lasts 30 seconds before your own side starts attacking you. Before that we had Kamala Harris announce her campaign ambitions for president. It was quickly overshadowed by an immediate dark cloud when former mayor of San Francisco Willie Brown gave an interview where he pretty much admitted they had an affair. He was 60, she was 30, and during that time, he appointed her to 2 very lucrative jobs. Jobs paying nearly 6 figures and one job only requiring her to be in attendance 12 times a year. Not a bad gig if you can find it, or if you happen to strike up an affair with Willie Brown. Apparently, they had a falling out though and Brown is looking to get revenge. He stated that she turned on him after getting his assistance. The difference is that Harris is the only one who, after I helped her, sent word that I would be indicted if I so much as jaywalked while she was DA, Willie Brown wrote. That's politics for ya. Once again, not a really good start out of the gate. Of course there are others that I'm sure you are aware of. The likes of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are all but guaranteed to be announcing their campaigns soon. But even Bernie Sanders, who has yet to announce, is facing attacks from his own party. Allegations of sexual harassment on the 2016 campaign trail have to come to the surface, forcing Sanders to apologize for allowing a culture of toxic masculinity to fester in his campaign. Who knows if any of those allegations are true, but the fact that he is being attacked before even running is definitely a bad sign for him as well as other Democratic candidates. And that's the real issue here. It's only been a week or two since candidates started announcing or testing the waters and already they are feeding on each other. And once the campaigns and early primaries get started, one can only imagine how much the attacks will ramp up. It's very likely that the Democratic race for a 2020 nominee will turn into a contest of who can outleft the other candidates. By that I mean, they will all be forced to go more and more far left to appease their vocal minority of far-left radicals in their base. They have witnessed all the media attention Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has received and I am sure they have all taken note that her wild and far-left rhetoric seems to attract media attention. It should be funny to see how Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders respond to all of this should they choose to run. Being old, white men, I feel they will be attacked the most and they will be forced not to defend themselves, for if they do they will be labeled as mansplainers or benefiting from the evil patriarchy. Do you really think an old, white man can debate a black woman on stage in the modern Democratic Party? I'm not sure, but it will be fun watching Biden or Sanders squirm on stage and bite their tongue, too afraid to respond over fears of violating some nuance of modern leftist identity politics. So at this point it's impossible to know what damaged candidate will limp across the finish line as the Democratic nominee for president. In fact, with so many Democrats looking to enter the race, we could end up with a brokered convention on the Democratic side. But whatever the case is, it looks like the train wreck is getting off to an early start.